11 o'clock. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I got Councilmember Hancock. I don't know if, I guess Councilmember Jurinsky will chime in when she gets ready, but I want to go ahead and get started. Councilmember Hancock, do you approve the minutes of September 19th?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Okay, I approve them as well, and I'll get those signed. Hello, Lori. Give us our federal Lori.
Yes, hi. But you
hi.
turn the audio back on. How are y'all?
Fine, how are you?
Okay. Well, we're now at day 22 of the federal government shutdown. It's now the second longest shutdown in history. The House remains in recess, even though they were supposed to be in session. Speaker Johnson has said he'll bring the House members back when the Senate passes the Clean CR, which provides funding for the federal government until November 21st. The Senate has voted that down 11 times. They've gotten, I think, 3 Democrats to join them, but not enough. So it's pretty much at a standstill right now, which is unfortunate. As you know, the Democrats would like to attach the Affordable Care Act subsidies that are due to expire December 31st to the CR. Republicans prefer to do it separately. So it's a complete standstill right now. I was on the Hill all day and staff are still working and taking meetings without getting paid. But I just don't see an end in sight right now. I think we're going to see perhaps when the general public feels the impact, maybe then something will happen. So there are a couple pressure points. States are beginning to experience, I think, shortfalls in funding for the WIC and SNAP programs. The president was able to redirect some tariff money for WIC. He has not been able to find anything for SNAP, but I think states are going to begin to experience that soon. On October 24th, it'll be the first full paycheck that federal workers will miss. The House and Senate staffers missed their paycheck. I think they both, one gets paid on Thursday, one gets paid on Friday. So it'll be the first paycheck they miss. As you know, the president has been able to redirect money from the Department of Defense R&D, Research and Development, to pay the military. So they're being paid for now, but next week they should are due another paycheck, and it's unclear if there are funds that exist that he can redirect again. Next week, the air traffic controllers will also go without their first paycheck as well. So far, there have been some delays, but not like it was before, where you have major hubs experiencing and shutting down, flights for days and days. We haven't seen that. So when they miss that paycheck next week, there may be an issue. And then lastly, on November 1st, the Affordable Care Act open enrollment begins. So I think more of the public are going to receive letters showing increases in their healthcare cost. So that may be a pressure point as well. Sorry to be a bearer of bad news. That's not good here.
Councilmember Hancock, do you want to say something before, or Councilmember Jurinsky, before I comment on something? Go ahead.
What can we say about this? This is a bad situation that, we have partisanship on steroids here, which is impacting, us hardworking Americans, folks that are trying to live their lives, which is really unfortunate. I'm most concerned about how this is going to impact our military service members. Mm-hmm. And I know here, Master Sergeant Dixon over at Buckley has a program that helps support families that are experiencing some difficulties. And he sent me some information about that, which I've shared with my constituents who have made inquiries about how to help our military families fill in the gap. But it is just really unfortunate that the Schumer shutdown has really it's really hurting us. And I hope that the public will reach out and call, email their congressperson to say, hey, cut it out, you're hurting me. So that's just my thoughts on it. It's really a shame that we've gotten to this point.
So before I get to Councilmember Jurinsky, can I just ask a question? What is our representatives doing to kind of say Crow, Bennett, Hickenlooper? What are they doing? Are they just going along to get along through the party instead of looking at their constituency and trying to see what are their thoughts? I haven't heard them say anything about this. Are they even speaking on it?
Yeah, Madam Chair, yesterday Bennett had a online town hall yesterday, and I signed up to watch the town hall,
Mhm.
and I couldn't get in when it was time to do the town hall. I registered and did all the things, but I couldn't get in. But I know that I'm getting a recording supposedly later on today, but he's probably going along the party line pretty much like everyone else, blaming this on President Trump and the Republicans.
Right, and this is my whole thing with just get the CR open, and you guys can discuss all this other stuff, because you're messing with people's money, you're messing with people's incomes, and it's going to be a real problem. They're playing games with people, and that's what I don't like about this on both sides, really, to be very honest with you. Just, I just want to know what our representatives are doing. It doesn't seem like they're just getting along with whoever. I don't see them really speaking out. And like I said, I didn't know about Senator Bennett's town hall. So that's just a comment from me. So Councilmember Jurinsky, did you have a comment or anything, or did you want to say anything on this issue, the federal government shutdown?
It's interesting, the timing. I'm at JJ's right now. This is my employee, Manny. Say hi, Manny.
Hi, Manny.
Manny's fiance is a government worker, retired military, and holds a GSA position. And I've had to sit down with my employees, such as Manny, and talk about making car payments for them, making rent payments for them. And I'm personally, so this is affecting people beyond just who aren't getting paychecks because of the government shutdown. I don't know what other employers are doing, to try and help, their family members who are impacted. Obviously, it's not him going without a paycheck, but it's his fiance. And I'm not going to have my employees be homeless or have cars repoed or anything like that. So I'm getting ready to pay personally rent payments, car payments, for my employee, small business owners. These aren't employees; these are family members. And I also refer to this as the Schumer shutdown. I think this is crazy. I applaud the Democrats that have come over and are voting for a clean spending bill, not with a whole bunch of stuff added into it. And I wish that partisan politics would be taken out of this, because I am witnessing firsthand in my life on the front lines what this is doing and how this is impacting families and people that I am personally surrounded by. So I really hope that people become more and more vocal, and not just vocal, but outraged, because watching my staff, my family suffer, and me potentially having to start paying rent payments, car payments, you name it. This impact is going way, way farther beyond just government employees not getting a paycheck.
And, to your point, Madam Chair, also,
Yeah,
Councilmember Jurinsky, and as a small business owner, is in a unique position. She's able to do that. But think about a lot of these other small businesses who are operating on razor thin margins. I was talking with a business owner in my ward just the other day. He's had to reduce his staff down to two, from 12 to 2. And he doesn't even know if his business is even going to survive as a result of what is happening and how it's impacting his employees. So this is a terrible thing people are doing, that at our expense, at the people. They forget who they work for. They work for us, and we work for our constituents. And it is so frustrating. What do you tell people who are being impacted by this petty nonsense, that the people who are supposed to represent us going to the nation's capital and getting into these fights? It's sickening. It's sickening.
And I agree with both of you. I also think too, it's going to impact a lot of the things, the grants, things that we're trying to get through. That's significant. So, it could stop a lot of projects and things that were going forward. So I'm in outrage. I just hope they can get it together, or if there's something we do. I wish our representatives would be a little bit more vocal, even if they're on party line. Look at the people that they represent. Put that to the side and look at the people that they represent in Colorado. So I just want to leave with that. Any more comments on this? Thank you. Lori, is there anything else? I know some of the funding stuff that we're having, that's kind of on a pause right now, correct? Okay.
So HUD is definitely on pause. Department of
Okay.
Transportation continues to work because it's funded out of the Highway Trust Fund. So it
Okay.
already has a funding in place. So that's good news. I don't think you're going to see your reimbursements that you'll get from federal highways or FT, Federal Transit Administration, paused. So some good news in there.
What about the surface grant? Is that still available, or is, what are we doing on that?
The STVG,
Yeah,
yeah, that still exists.
okay,
You can still receive that from Dr. Cobb.
okay, got it. Okay, Mayor Kaufman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Secretary of HUD is supposed to come out here on November 6th. Is that I guess we need to confirm if that's still on.
I think Liz has been in communication with them.
Okay, yeah. Oh, there's Liz. Okay,
Go ahead, Liz.
yeah.
Hi, yes, as far as we are aware, that is still on. If that changes,
Okay.
we will be notified from HUD. But as far as the communication we had with them last week, we are still good to go.
Okay. And I just want to say I was a part of a shutdown in
You were.
I think it was
Yeah.
2013, something like that. And and I think Republicans were wrong then, and I think Democrats are wrong this time because we were trying to leverage our position with the shutdown in terms of to repeal Obamacare, which was the dumbest thing in the world because President Obama, that was his signature issue. He would have never done that. And so I think that the Democrats had the upper hand and we paid the price for it. And I think it's a reverse this time. And the Medicaid issue, I mean, that was supposed to be just temporary, I think, for during the pandemic. Well, that's over with now. And so yeah, it's typical government. Once you start a program, it never goes away, even if it's supposed to be temporary, temporary plus up. And of course, they're trying to do other things. And it's just, and Republicans aren't going to yield. And so I think it's this time Democrats are wrong in this, but I hope it's resolved soon because what I worry about is SNAP is going to be cut off completely, I think, pretty soon.
November
Is it
1st.
4 days from now or something like that? If they don't come to an agreement. So
Isn't it November
that's going to be
1st
felt.
or something?
That's going to be felt. Okay.
Mhm.
Great.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. If there's no more comments, Lori, thank you so much for the update. Not great news, but it's news. So-
Hopefully Peggy has more positive news than I do.
Okay.
Yay, Peggy.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
Yay, we're hoping.
We're hoping.
We're hoping.
Let's hope.
Okay.
Okay, Peggy, go ahead.
I'm counting on you, Peggy.
Hi, I want to make sure I'm not echoing. Am I echoing?
Okay, I'm going to shut mine down.
Okay.
We're in the same room here.
We just wrapped up a great meeting amongst our legislators and APD that Liz put together a 2-hour briefing that was really, really good. And I think brought up a lot of good issues where we can work together. So let me start with a thank you to Liz for that. It was great. We are preparing for session. Legislators are starting to share information on bills that they're working on for next session. Certainly CML, their policy committee met last week. And I believe the overall CML board is meeting this week to vote on which bills they'll be bringing forward as priority bills. I know they've got quite a lengthy list that they're going to try to hone down this week, and we'll start to work on legislative sponsors and visiting with legislators to introduce both their new staff as well as some of these policy decisions. Couple big bills that I know we'll be watching going into next session. YIGB is going to be back. That was the bill that was focused on religious and schools having the ability to expedite administrative approval processes for development. This year, it sounds like they're going to limit that residential development just for schools. There was controversy over the religious component. So that bill will be back. 1147, which was the municipal court bill, Senator Weissman is likely going to bring that back. We're hoping he may hone in just around transparency on that. So it hopefully will remove that requirement that it limits municipal courts municipal statutes from having sentences that are greater than state statutes, hoping that is removed from the bill and focuses on transparencies. That's still, I think, going to be something they'll have to work out because there's privacy concerns around minors. We are likely going to see several bills on RTD, as we've seen in the past couple of years. There's a transit equity bill that RTD has some concerns with, namely how to address some of the financial implications on it when everybody's in a tight budget year. We'll probably see a noise ordinance bill that would say that municipal authority can override state noise limits for government and nonprofit purposes. Likely to see legislation around Proposition 123 because the legislature will probably do some sort of sweep of those dollars. And then how we address the initiative that passed around funding for police officers a couple years ago. As you recall, last year they pushed that off. There's worry that that won't be funded this year again because of budget constraints. So lots going into next session. I know Tatsi was going to touch real quick on a couple of the TLRC bills that came out of Transportation Committee yesterday. And we'll keep you posted as we start to get drafts of these bills going into next session for sure.
And I just want to say that I'll provide the Pfizer an update and maybe on my report for council as well. For the CML, I'm on the executive board. I know the governor will be there. I do have a question about how a question that I'll be asking. And also I think Mayor Mike Johnson will be there on the 24th as well. So it should be a very interesting CML meeting, executive board meeting on Friday. And I'll provide an update on that as well. Go ahead, Tatsi.
Thank you, Council Member. The TLRC did meet yesterday and they had a number of presentations, but we were just going to focus on the two bills that they voted out. And one was the electronic vehicle registration bill that would allow folks to register their vehicle electronically rather than going to the DMV and mostly be done down at the dealership. That's what they're hoping for. That bill came out 16-5. It'll start in the House, and its main sponsors are Representatives Bazenecker and Pascal and Senator Byron Pelton. The other bill.
Tatsi, can I just interrupt you? What do you mean electronic vehicle? Okay, I understand that, but when you buy a new car, you're going to register it there? Or do you mean like as yearly registrations, we can go online?
Both. They're hoping to achieve both. I mean, you can go online right now and register your vehicle for your plate renewal, but they're hoping that if they can title at point of sale, that will help both sides out, the counties and the vehicle owner.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
There are a couple of vendors. I'm sorry.
Oh, I said thank you for the clarification.
Who do this. Okay, I'm so sorry. And then the other one is a clean fleet enterprise replacement bill that would allow fleet owners to replace their aging diesel vehicles with new ones. It's an incentive program that folks are hoping we can get rid of the older diesels on the highway. And right now, those vehicles are like big old trucks and gravel trucks and moving trucks and semis that are on the highway. They're hoping that this will incentivize the truck owners to go toward clean energy run vehicles. That was amended yesterday to put a 5-year sunset in the program. And that's all I got.
Is there any questions from committee members? Councilmember Hancock, Councilmember Jurinsky, from Peggy's and Totsy's reports, and Mayor.
Yes, thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Totsy, so this piece of legislation regarding online registration at point of sale is the rationale to mitigate people being delayed in getting their plates and tags? Is that making it more permanent, or is it still just temporary? I'm trying to understand.
To be honest, the vendors who can make online titling immediate have been working with the Department of Revenue. And this is something that I've been working on with another client of mine for probably about 6 or 7 years. So the vendors are pushing it. Revenue wants to do it. It'll be part of the DRIVES program, and it should lighten up the workload in the DMVs.
So it'll have more compliance in terms of having people on the road with plates that have been expired for years.
Hopefully.
Okay.
That's not the titling is when the vehicle is purchased. You can renew online right now, getting
Yes.
back to our license plate bill last year.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Mayor? You're muted. Mayor, you're muted.
Councilmember Hancock has worked long and hard on this vehicle registration compliance. What difference do you think that if this bill passes, what difference do you think it'll make in terms of helping us with compliance?
I really don't know yet, Mr. Mayor, because this is just the titling portion. It's not the plating portion. Does that make sense? When you get your
Oh, I
title
see.
upon a
Okay.
purchase, you don't necessarily get your plate
Okay.
at that exact moment. I
So
don't
it's
know
not
yet.
about paying it's not about making it easier to pay the registration fees.
No, it's
Right.
just about titling.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, that was my question. I was thinking that
Yeah.
somehow it would be congruent with, the registration, the titling, and the plates, that would somehow make it easier, but it doesn't sound like it will.
You might get your plate faster, but it doesn't, it's not going to preclude next year. When your renewal comes up, you'll still have to renew. It's just a matter
Understood.
of, okay.
Understood. My concern was, people buying the vehicles, they get the temporary plates, the temporary plates have long expired, and they haven't gotten their actual plates or their tags, and so they're driving around with expired documents. So will this piece of legislation help to mitigate that so people will get their initial plates on time?
I still don't know the answer to that because you have to go one step further, is the way I understand it. But what they're hoping to do is that it would expedite the plate distribution.
Okay. Thank you.
Is
You
there
betcha.
any question? Councilmember Jurinsky, do you have any questions on Peggy and Totsy's reports or anything that you want to bring up as well?
No, nothing as of now. I just am curious to see what in the heck we're in for next legislative session and prepare to buckle up.
Well, I think you better buckle up because rumors are, I heard it's going to be something else. So that's just my rumor here, what I'm hearing downtown. Go ahead, Mayor Kaufman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am concerned about this bill coming up that would strip our authority to have penalties any higher than the state criminal code. The governor vetoed it last year. I hope he vetoes it again. I worry about whoever his successor is going to be, but I think we're going to have to fight that one. But other than that, it doesn't seem like they've done what the damage that they're going to try and do on the planning and zoning, the land use stuff. it seems like, you know, and we're challenging them in court on that. So it's so far from what the description is, that the big issue that we're gonna have to confront, I'm sure there are gonna be others, but the big issue right now is the whatever number is gonna be given, stripping our authority to have penalties higher than the state code.
Well, also too, Mayor, we might have to look at the YIGB again. I think that that was a very controversial bill. We're gonna probably have to look at that one again. It's coming back. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but that's something that we're gonna have to look at from the local control perspective, in my
I'm sorry,
opinion.
what bill was that again? What bill was it?
It's the, I don't know what the bill number was. Peggy, what was it's YIGB.
Yeah, it was the bill that allowed for there to be an expedited development process for residential development in school and religious areas. I think they're going to peel out that religious piece of it. I'm sorry, they're going to, peel out the religious piece of it and just have YIGB focused on school. And then just going back to the mayor's point on 1147, the municipal court bill, they are talking about potentially taking out that penalty discussion and instead talk about transparency. So you've got to have stuff streaming online, or you've got to have the ability for folks to zoom in. So that may get honed down as well, which would be good. I mean, I know we'll continue to have concerns with it, but at least some of it will get a little whittled down. I do think we're going to continue to see legislation around criminal justice, public safety, tools and technologies that that we're using today to help limit and reduce criminal rates in the city. I think there's going to be an effort on some of those abilities to try to limit it through legislation. So, yeah, I think you're right. Buckle up.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions before we move forward with Liz to kind of go over the ballot measures? Is someone speaking? Okay. Liz, we're going to go ahead and go with the ballot measure discussion. Also, can you explain, I mean, Councilmember Jurinsky knows about this, but Councilmember Hancock is new about positions and how we can take it on initiatives, ballot measures.
Absolutely, yes. So I'm going to quickly bring up the presentation. Okay. Oh, I've lost everyone. Okay. Can everyone see the presentation? Okay, good. Thank God. Okay. So we're going to be talking about some of the ballot measures that are going to be on the state ballot this year. I have 2 state ballot measures and then 1 county one that I want to make note of for everybody.
I'll just listen to
So just to note for everyone, to be very clear about this, if we want to do as a city a position on a state ballot measure, that needs to be done and voted on by a majority of council with a majority of council approval. So it would need to go to study session and then full council for the vote. Okay.
Chair,
Any
I know what
questions
you're
on that?
trying to say, but you're muted, Chair. But I know what you're trying to say, but you're just muted to make your
Oh, okay.
suggestion.
I was just trying to tell the mayor to mute. Liz, can you repeat that, please, for me, just
Yes,
one
I
more
can.
time? Thank you.
So as just to be very, very clear about this, if council, if you guys want to take a position on a ballot measure, it has to be voted on at full council. So we have to go to a study session and a full council meeting for it to be voted on. For the position to be whatever position you guys want to take, it has to be a majority vote for the bill position. So are there any questions on that? This is like a change that was made, I believe, 2 years ago in the charter. This is how it has to be done.
Okay, no questions. Thank you for the explanation. Let's move forward.
Perfect. Okay, So quickly, I'm going to talk about the 2 state ballot initiatives, and then I thoroughly looked at Adams, Douglas, and Arapahoe County. I didn't see anything too concerning, but there is something I want to pull forward just because it had the mayor's interest previously. So I want to make sure that everyone is aware of that. So first, for the state, there's going to be 2 ballot measures specifically related to the healthy school lunch programs. The first one is Proposition LL. To be clear, both of these were from the state legislature. So this one was from House Bill 25-1274. So basically what this proposition would allow is any taxes or funding that is collected for the Healthy School Meals for All program, the state can only keep a certain amount of that. And then any excess funding has to go back to the taxpayers. So this ballot measure would allow the state to keep any overage funding that they receive from taxpayers for this program to fund the program for Healthy Schools for All, because right now they are limited to that. Are there any questions before I get to the next one, which is very similar but different?
Okay, questions? Councilmember Hancock?
I don't know if you realize it though, Liz, your slides, or maybe it's just me, they're not moving forward. So
Oh, hold on. Here we go. There we go. This better?
So, yes, as I understand it, wasn't this healthy school program, wasn't it like $100 million in debt in the program last year? Was failing last year, right? So what they're essentially asking is for more money for something that failed in the first year. Am I to understand that correctly?
I can't speak to whether or not this failed or not. I think that's a little bit of a matter of opinion on it. I will say I specifically just wanted to let you guys know about what these ballot measures are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we
Yeah.
as a council, will we have to, because it's already on the ballot, so we don't have anything to do with whether or not we don't really have a dog in this fight. It's already out there. So
well, yes,
No
it's
one's
already on
out.
the ballot, but as council, you are allowed to take a position on whether you would like to support the ballot measure or oppose the ballot measure or do nothing. So that is what you can do about these measures.
Okay.
As
And are we
staff,
going to do that?
and that would be up to you guys as if you want to move that motion forward as a committee, that would be up to you to decide that. As staff, we don't have recommendations on these.
Okay. I will defer to the chair.
So I know the ballots are out there. This actually would put an opinion from the Pfizer committee that we oppose it. I know you might see it as, well, people are going to vote the way they want, but it could have some whatever to people wondering why the Pfizer committee or maybe why the council is opposed or supports this or doesn't want to do anything. So I'm going to leave it up to the committee. We have done this before where we have opposed these or supported them. So we have done these during election periods. So I guess the discussion that we can have is, does the Pfizer committee want to take a position on it? It probably will be publicly known, our position. We will have to take it to the full council. It would have to get support of the full council. The question is, do you want to do this and take it to the full council and have this discussion? So let's discuss it. Okay, let's start.
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead, Councilmember Jurinsky. Let's start with Councilmember Jurinsky first. Go ahead.
So my opinion, I'm personally opposed to both of these. I've been very vocal about it. I've been very active on social media. But Chair, where I'm at on these is, by the time we're exactly 1 week and 6 days from the election. By the time we take this to the full council, take a position, election day has come and gone. I think for us, being on city council, I think we just take positions in our own right. I think we're way past the point of having any relevance taking a position We all have our social medias, we have town halls, we talk to our constituents, we're very active and engaged. I am very publicly a no on LL and MM. I believe I am the only member of this committee who has a child in the public school system right now. And what I would like to say to the public regarding LL and MM is that with a no vote, this program does not go away. My son is a beneficiary of the breakfast and lunch program that passed. I originally voted no to pass it to begin with, but it passed, and my son is a beneficiary of this program. What I would just like to let the public know is that should both of these measures fail, the program will not go away. And I think that is the fear that is trying to be instilled here into parents, ultimately voters, is that if we do not pass these, that these programs will go away. I have studied this in length. Like I said, I'm the only member with the child currently in public school. So I am encouraging a no vote, but I'm encouraging that in my individual capacity. I just think it's a waste of everybody's time to try and take a position and bring this before full council. We will be past the election by that point.
Yeah, and thank you, Councilmember Jurinsky, and I understand that, but I had to bring it up for discussion. We have done this in the past. We have been close to election on some of these initiatives that we have taken in former years. So I know it's kind of late, and I agree with you, but I just wanted to bring it up for the discussion in case there is a point that we want to do on, take a position on these. Mayor Kaufman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think that even if our position was done earlier, and I would still probably be against it. I prefer to focus on issues that really directly impact the municipal government versus indirectly. But yeah, it is too late, and I hope that next year we entertain these issues earlier in the process to where we can make a difference when we do want to take a position on an issue. Thank you.
I agree, Mayor. And as the chair, I take full accountability for this. So the reason why it is late. So I do take full accountability on having this later than earlier. So as the chair, go ahead, Mayor. Councilmember Hancock.
And, Chair, like Councilmember Jurinsky, I have also been pretty vocal about my opposition to both of these LL and MM. This is a tax increase, no matter how you slice it. And the fact that they are trying to instill fear in people and saying that if we vote no, that this will go away, or even intimating that would be the case. I think the public, the Blue Book came out, talked about this in detail. A couple other publications came out explaining this tax, and I think it's incumbent upon the public to understand that this programs like this, while they may or may not benefit kids, is highly debatable. The way that it has been run and the incompetence of those who are running it makes this really problematic. I mean, it's $158 million. 58 million of it is overrun. So we've got to be more. We're asking our constituents and the public to work within a budget, and yet our state government refuses to do that. That's a problem. So I think next time we will get ahead of it earlier. As soon as we see it pop up, we'll get ahead of it. But at this point, we don't really have any weight because by the time we come back into council, to Councilmember Jurinsky's point, election will be over. But I think it's important for us to say now that we're against it, because I am very much against both of these.
Right.
So.
And again, I am too. I spoke to my constituency last night at my town hall. But again, this is all on me to bring these whatever, but I had to bring them up regardless of whatever. So I take full accountability for the lateness of these, and we will make sure that they come up again should I be on the committee or the chair next year. Go ahead, Liz. Let's go to the next one, and then let's go to the county one.
So the next one is Proposition MM. I feel like if you are very aware of it and you would like me to move on to the county measure, I'm happy to do that instead.
Let's move on to the county.
Okay, so I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention mostly because I know the mayor was very concerned about this. So previously this year, South Metro Fire District was contemplating doing either a sales tax increase or property tax increase to increase funding for their services. Just wanted to note and make sure that everyone knew that they did decide to go to a property tax rate increase of 12.25 mils. So you can read everything here. These will be on Arapahoe and Douglas County budgets. But I know that the mayor was very concerned about this being a sales tax. So I wanted to make sure that it was of note that this is a property tax instead.
Any questions from the committee? Councilmember Jurinsky.
Sure.
Councilmember
Thank you.
Jurinsky.
Yeah, I mean, this is very concerning. But I think, Mayor, I don't know where you're falling on this. I certainly wouldn't support this should I have a chance to vote on this. But within the Aurora city limits, none of our constituents, I believe, will be seeing this on their ballots. This will be in unincorporated Arapahoe County. Yes, some of them do have an Aurora address because they have to. I thank you, Mayor, for bringing attention to this, but I don't see this as anything that directly affects any actual resident within the corporation of Aurora city limits. So in my opinion, I don't think that we should take an opinion on the, a position on this again. But certainly if I were to live in unincorporated Arapahoe County or an area that would be affected by this, I'm not sure that I would support it.
Mayor Kaufman, did you want to have a comment on this, or?
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. I spoke before the board of South Metro about, they initially wanted to go the property tax route. And then I spoke before the board requesting that they go sales tax if they go to the ballot at all. And I think that Centennial and Lone Tree joined me in that effort. And fortunately, they went the sales tax route. They've asked for our support and for my support individually, and I suggest we take a neutral position. They have a very robust budget because, fire rescue services are very popular with the voters, and they don't have the challenges that we have of having to weigh competing interests between, public safety and roads and all the other things that we have to fund. So they're very fortunate in that regard, but they do have a slice of Aurora, and it is it's a pretty good slice because it's mostly commercial.
I guess, Mayor, just to kind of go back to what we discussed, we were talking about it was too late to do these other two, but you want to specifically concentrate on this one.
No, I think we should be neutral. I'm sorry. But you're right, it's too late anyway, but I suggest we be neutral. Although even at the last minute could make a difference, but I think it's not. I think it's going to pass without a problem. So I suggest that we not take a position.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there any questions from the committee based on this? Councilmember Jurinsky?
I would agree to not take a position at this point. I mean, I would just agree. And to the same point, I guess, kind of to the mayor's point on like the state initiatives, I think that we should really focus on what impacts that. I would agree to not take a position.
Okay. All right. Okay, Liz, we're not going to take a position on any of these. And we're going to go. Excuse me?
Thank you so much. That sounds like a plan.
Okay.
I will move forward with doing nothing with this.
Okay, water update. Kathy.
Good morning, everybody. Water update, just a couple informational items. Everything is still pretty quiet since we met last time. So the interim committees haven't met again since we met last time. The Water Resources and Agricultural Review Committee will next meet on October 29th. There are no water rights related pieces of legislation coming out of that committee this year. They will be hearing a presentation on zebra mussels, as it's official that the state of Colorado is now infested with zebra mussels in the Colorado River system. So that's disappointing, but it's good that they are highlighting that. So I'm hoping that they'll keep the support and the funding for prevention and removal of zebra mussels. On the state side, really, it's there's a severance task force that began meeting. They're going to meet monthly until they come out with some recommendations in July. So we're watching that task force. And then there is a working group that the legislature also set for state land conservation and recreation recommendations. So we're watching that work group as well. On the federal side, we're just looking at our federal priorities now as we start looking at 2026.
Is there any questions on Kathy's report or anything that you would like to add, or go ahead, Councilmember Jurinsky.
Thank you. Kathy, you said zebra mussels?
Yes, ma'am.
Are any of these, do we know, are any of these in our water sources that come into Aurora?
No, not yet. But it is concerning that they are now in the Colorado River. So if you know zebra mussels, they have, very sticky glue. They adhere to the inside of pipes and restrict conveyance. They are very difficult to remove. They're almost like concrete. So if they would get into our system, it would be a major operation and maintenance headache for us. Everybody is concerned about these zebra mussels. It's been a couple decades of trying to prevent them from coming into the state of Colorado, but they are here now. And so there'll be a good update on October 29th to the committee. They are in Eagle County, in a private water body in Eagle County. We have had for over a decade restrictions as far as no motorized vehicles in Homestake Reservoir. You can picture if we would get them in Homestake Reservoir, that they would be then conveyed into the upper headwaters of the Arkansas River. So everybody cares about this issue.
Yeah, if they get into the Aurora Reservoir and I can't go paddleboarding, Kathy, I'm gonna have a meltdown.
I'm with you on that. And we've been helping pay for years too for inspections to, keep boats that might be infested out of Turquoise and Twin. So we've been an active funder of inspections on some of our facilities.
Okay, thank you so much.
Councilmember Hancock.
So clearly zebra mushroom or zebra mussels are not edible. Ugh, I'm looking here on my chat GPT. It sounds disgusting. How were they brought here like in did somebody bring them in an aquarium, or how did they get here? They're not native to Colorado, right?
No,
so how did they get here?
I believe the zebra mussels might be from Russia or Asia, and same with quagga mussels. And there's also a new mussel infestation that came to the United States, the golden mussel. All three of them are from Asia area, and they have probably arrived here in ballast water. So zebra mussels originally came as an invasive species in ballast water on some ships to the Great Lakes. And then we transport them throughout our states with our recreational boats, which is why there's inspections at a lot of reservoirs to try to get them removed and identify them.
So that's why I don't know anything much about boating, but I guess that's why when they're on the docks, you have to go around and look at them to make sure there's no foreign bodies attached to the bottoms of the boats. That's how they get conveyed get into the water and impact our conveyance areas. Is that correct? I'm not a water person, but I just, that sounds kind of gross, but thank you.
Yeah.
It is. And so you'll see clean, drain, dry. So that's a reference of, dry out your boats, make sure that there's no mussels, make sure you're not transporting any of these species from water body to water body.
And they don't stick on your skin, do you? Like stick on your clothes or your skin? Okay, good.
No, but the shells are very sharp. And so like around the Great Lakes areas, beautiful beaches that you used to be able to walk barefoot on, you
You
can't.
can't do it.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Mayor Kaufman.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Well, we get a little over 20% of our water from the Colorado River basin. So wouldn't that potentially have an impact on us?
Not on our water yield. It is more a concern for the operation and maintenance of our infrastructure. So we want to make sure that they don't come to any of our reservoirs and they don't come to any of our conveyance facilities. And then, of course, some of our partners downstream, they are dealing it directly with some of the zebra mussels in their ditches and their conveyance features. And where I come across most of the discussion too is with our endangered fish program, and just so concerns if they are draining certain features, trying to resolve a mussel problem, that we are still supporting the endangered fish. So far, there's been no problem, but that's where I hear the conversation the most.
Okay.
Okay. Kathy, do you have any other updates before we
No,
finish? Okay.
I think we've got one more meeting before the end of the year, so
Okay.
look forward to that.
Okay. We have no state bills, last minute bills, federal, any miscellaneous matters for consideration. Is there anyone on this Zoom that would like to speak on something? Okay. Don't hear
Chair.
anything. Oh, go ahead, Councilmember Jurinsky.
Yeah, I know that we recently put out, Liz, maybe this is directed to you, but we have an RFP out for federal lobbying. Do you know what the deadline is for that?
Not off the top of my head. I'm working with purchasing on that, but I can email it over to you in the committee if you would like to have more of that information. To
yeah,
be
I
very
would.
clear, this is like we have to do it. We have to do it every 5 years, mandated by our council committee. So that's why we're doing this RFP right now.
Yeah, if you
of
could
course,
send it
of course.
over, if you could send it over, because I know that on one year I made a little bit of a tad revision of something I wanted the lobbyists to do. So maybe there might be some input from the committee members of what they would like to see. So if you can if you could email those contracts over, or not the contracts, the agreements, so we can take a look at those, that would be great.
Yep.
Yeah, I would like to see who's applied, what services they're offering. But of course, I'd like to know when the deadline is for this too.
Yep, absolutely. I can get you that information.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had, Chair.
Okay. So our next meeting, which will be our final meeting of the year, November 21st at 11 a.m. It'll be virtual. And if there's no other questions or concerns or anything anyone wants to bring up, we're going to adjourn. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day today. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks.